Hey everybody, it's Kenny K here again, bringing you a other video, something different this time. My top 10 slasher movies. I'm gonna do top 10 found footage movies, top 10 horror creature feature movies, and top 10 supernatural movies, which is basically your ghosties, your demons, those baddies. Okay, now it's the slashers. Now I'm gonna start with number 10 and of course end with the the best one. These are from uh, from good to best. So this not like all 10 of them are equally. It's like number 10 is good, but the one that's following up is better. Uh, I would like to throw in the description all the movies that that I will tell you about, and I want to put from reliable sources that are like YouTube, Dailymotion, just the links where you can find this movie, and that you just have to copy and paste it, put it in your search bar, and you can find this movie for free in a relatively good quality, not VHS quality, real DVD quality. Number 10 is going to be 1989's Intruder. It's basically the last of the slasher movies, of the golden slasher movies. This one is so good. The thing is, what they did wrong was the promotional material had a poster of all the victims and the killer in the middle, and you can clearly see who the killer is, and um, that 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 did ruin a little bit of the surprise. And also, they said Bruce Campbell would be in there, and he is for a minute at the very end. So it's basically a killer that, and it's a unique location, a supermarket, and everybody gets slaughtered. Now the Raimi brothers are also in this movie, Ted and Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi being the butcher, Ted Raimi being the guy handling the fruit. But I have to say, this movie, I'm not sure who did the practical effects, but oh my gosh, their gore allure, it's and realistic. I mean, like an example, I won't spoil too much. A guy who gets his head compressed, and you see like this the front, and you see everything being squished and his mouth opening and yelling. It's pretty gruesome. And the one who did it's not a Stan Winston, it's not a Tom Savini. This one really is the last of its breed. um, the 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 shop, the more they get picked off, the more you feel that the atmosphere, that it's becoming eerie. The shop's becoming eerie because it's an all-nighter, so it's 24/7. And the reason why these killings are happening is because the owner, you have two owners. One owner has a majority, uh, majority, uh, a majority on the store. What's a majority share, and he decides to do it. He has 51%, and the other guy has a 49%. So he decides to sell it. The other guy doesn't want to, but he does want to sell it because he wants to stop it, and he will give recommendations to everybody. He's not a bad guy. He will give bonuses, and he will recommend people to other supermarkets. And the other guy isn't a bad guy too, the co-owner, but he owned more shares than uh, the other one, so he has the final say so. but Intruder is really good. So Intruder as number 10. Number 9, 1980s Prom Night with Jamie Lee Curtis, Leslie Nielsen. Although Leslie Nielsen is in disappears in the third act, which is a really important one, but he disappears when the slaughtering happens. It's in the third act because this movie doesn't have a lot of kills. In fact, this movie, the the movie has one kill in the beginning, an accidental kill, but the real killings, the slashing, starts at the last 15-20 minutes. Um, and the story is about a girl that falls out of the window because four other kids are doing this fucked up game called uh, The Killer is Here, and they are just rushing her and in a corner, and she eventually like this she's sitting on a ledge, but there's a window. The window is half broken and she falls through, and she falls and plummets to her death. The kids are so evil. Everybody, this one girl that says everybody's gonna shut your mouth, she's also the bitch in the movie, Wendy. And the only one who is like it's the guy Nick, but Nick will be the boyfriend of Jamie Lee Curtis. Now the girl that fell is the young sister of Jamie Lee Curtis, and the four perpetrators uh, are targeted, and there's this I'm not sure, a lack of music. Even Leslie Nielsen, although he may be just reading a cue card, I saw a movie a few years earlier of him. He's wanting to rape people, kill people, be the master. A fucked up person. Leslie Nielsen, American Sweetheart. I mean, in this movie, he's really he doesn't want to be there. It's obvious because after that he went to comedy, but there's still some kind of lack of soundtrack, creepiness. When the an example of this is that's why I'm watching this movie, not for the kills, because kills are meh. Um, it's the school setting and the creepiness of it. It's that the girls are in the shower and they find pictures of themselves. The marked ones, they get calls from a guy who's it's obviously a guy, of course, because you hear it on the voice. He's doing this with a pencil, and then he writes the name. He scratches and it says you're next. And the only one he can't uh, contact is Nick. He's the only one who can't, because he says, "Oh, let it be. Let the phone go. It's probably Wendy," because he broke up with Wendy. It's now with the Jamie Lee Curtis character, but Wendy is she's a jealous bitch, and it's just the atmosphere in the school and the '80s prom dance. That's just the dance we get to see. It's not. Oh, it's tedious. Oh, it's a 5-6 minute dance, and I have to say, Jamie Lee Curtis looked good. She practiced, and that disco dance, and I hear Nick with his head like this. It was just, and she's like, like it was great. It was great, but like I said, the atmosphere. The two girl, Jamie Lee Curtis and her friend, she hear, she hears the mirror break in shatters, and there's this one big piece missing. This the killer took this piece. It's the length of a blade, although I would think if the killer can't afford a blade. Okay, but it's a great movie, great atmosphere, good acting, and it's mostly the atmosphere, the lack of music in school. There's a creepy undertone, and it's hard to explain. Yeah, if you've never seen the movie, there's an undertone there that school is the main place of everything's gonna happen there, and it does. So number nine, prom night. Number eight, Killer Party from 1986. I love this one. This is pure 80s slasher. The, the movie has three fake out beginnings. One is a movie scene in a drive-in. Then in the drive-in, a girl, a boyfriend, she goes for popcorn, and when she comes back, everybody's a zombie. And then you've got this rock band, this older older people, well, let's say in their 30s, but I think it's a failed rock band that tried to push through. Now this was probably their best thing they ever did, but they actually are good. They're like, April, you're no fool, oh April, and then the guitar is pretty good, but and that is not the beginning. That's some of the main characters watching MTV, and then the movie starts, and then you have a song that is just pure 80s. That you'll never see that in a current slasher movie. Two girls on one bike and another girl on another bike. They're going to um, their dorms, yeah, their fraternities. They're in a fraternity, and they there's this music on the background. These are the best times of our lives. These are the best times. Ooh, ooh. It's so cheesy, but it's also fun. And the, the problem is this movie has a super high kill count, kills a few people through the movie, so there's tension and creepiness and things happening throughout the movie. Plus, it's a double feature. It's not only a slasher movie, but also a possession movie with a demon. The demon is doing the killing, but possesses somebody to slash everybody in pieces. And at a Halloween party in an abandoned fraternity where the ghost should reside, because it's actually it's not a demon, more a ghost that's angry because it died during a bad pledge prank. So they're holding it there, but the killer in costume has this, those old divers with metal, complete metal suit, big ass helmet, and with a tube on their head. They could go deep sea divers, yeah. And she has this trident, she has a spear, she has a spear gun. Uh, yeah, I already said she, but okay. A like a scuba gear knife, multiple weapons, and picks up a hammer. There's, but nothing you see every time when the hit comes, gone. The MPAA really fucked this movie up. There's a scene where a guy opens a fridge, and you see the killer coming in and just slashing. You do see the guy in pieces in the fridge, but that you have one with a that the somewhere in the middle of the movie, um, one of the house mothers get killed by one the the paddles where the pledges get. They have to keep these paddles, but they're used by the fraternity women to hit them on the ass. Now this house mother is just hit to her death by one of these pallets, but you don't see who. But it's a great movie. It's an 80s typical slasher movie, and it has some fun actors. It has some uh, quirky characters, but also just a high body count, and there you have a slasher and a demon, and so yeah, Exorcist meets Friday the 13th. Yeah, that's number 8. Number 7 is 1980s Terror Train. I actually always thought it was 1982, the last movie Jamie Lee Curtis wanted to make, but I think the last horror movie was Halloween 2 that she wanted to make. She was a busy bee. I mean, she did Prom Night, she did Terror Train. I think she also did Road Games, that Hitchcockian thriller with Stacy Keach in Australia. Um, but Terror Train is just a great movie. It's a unique one. It has a remake, two remakes actually. One that wasn't first intended to be a remake, but it's just a remake. Our final girl is a black girl, and it's the same thing with the masks and on the train, but this one is just called Train. The second one is called Terror Train. It's a remake. I only saw Train. I didn't like it. It was almost exact, like the Psycho remake is a picture exact same movie you're seeing if you're watching the original one next to the remake. It's the exact frame by frame movie, and that's just not a good remake. But the unique thing on this horror movie is Jamie Lee Curtis, again, great actress. I think the first big time appearance, or TV appearance at least, of David Copperfield doing cool tricks. You see him having this rivalry between Alice from Die Hard. Remember? Hey, booby, let's make a deal. You remember that guy that's snorting coke? I'm not sure what his name is, but he's the guy who's constantly saying, "Oh, child stuff, all child stuff," but David Copperfield always one ups him. So that's pretty fun. And the cool thing is the killer. It's although it's New Year's Eve, they all are wearing uh, uniforms. I mean, like it's Halloween, but okay. The killer takes advantage of this, and basically, when he kills somebody, he takes the clothes of that person and then kills somebody else, and then again takes another costume. So he's constantly um, changing costumes, so you can't find him. So that's something that was really interesting. Also, the train. The train is an old style locomotive, creepy as hell in my opinion, and really narrow, which makes it a little bit like it's a little bit too tense for me, a little bit too tight, and that adds to the fear. And the conductor, I'm not sure what his name again is. He's a great actor. He's the guy who finds the first body and is gonna do everything to find this killer. Then at number 6, The Burning from 1981. People say it's basically the same kind of story as the Friday 13 movies, although Cropsey the killer, which is apparently a real urban legend in New Jersey, I believe. I'm not sure, but the Cropsey killer, yeah. But Cropsey, this burned asshole, because a prank gone wrong, he got burned, and he vowed his revenge. Now, this movie produced by Harvey Weinstein, and you can see it because you have a few sleazebags in this movie that really are pressing to have sex and even almost assaulting. So, but that aside, Tom Savini said, "Fuck you, I don't want to do Friday the 13th Part 2. It's ridiculous that Jason's back because Jason died. uh, and he had the script of the second movie. He had the script, and then he went to the burning, which he did, and you can see it. The kills, the legendary raft kill, where Cropsey just decimates 5 or 6 people in one time with his MO weapon, these large hedge clippers. Super cool, uh, super fun characters too. You have got Fisher Stevens. I think it's the guy from I never seen that comedy show, but Seinfeld. Uh, but just good acting. And there is a scene that's also in Friday the 13th Part 2 when they're all around each other telling the story about, in Friday the 13th about Jason, in this one about Cropsy. And but I like the one from Cropsy better because he does something like, watch out, he's there, look out, he's looking, oh, you're dead. And then somebody just jumps in the middle with a costume. Same with Jason. Somebody just jumps in the middle in a costume. And I think Tom Savini stole that a little bit. But no problem. No props, because he came back for my next favorite horror movie, 1984's Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Maybe he came back because Joseph Zito, who he uh, did the special effects for the Prowler. Atrocious, uh, atrocious story, and the acting is meh, but and full of holes and boring. But the kills, it's mainly for the kills you watch the Prowler. Tom Savini stated that it's his best work ever. I don't buy that. I think The Burning is probably one of his best. The Burning, yeah, that raft kill, that's just. And I think he just, and he also saw the potential apparently of Jason, because he didn't believe in him with Jason having a bag over his head. Now he has the hockey mask, it looks cooler. And Joseph Zito, he knew him, and so he did the special effects for Friday the 13th, the final chapter. And I have to say, this one, and if you can find, I found it, the uncensored cut of Friday the 13th Part 7, A New Blood. A New Blood is even gorier than this one. But if you find the uncensored version of this one, which I also found, it's the kill scenes are longer, so it's more explicit. The cameras, like the first kill, the coroner, one of the greatest kills in the movie. He gets with the hacksaw, one saw, and then his head is twisted off. In the uncensored cut, you see him sawing 3 times, and then he twists off the head. And then the nurse, after that, he stabs her, and you see that he's going down with the knife, but you don't see the wound. In this case, you see the wound, and you see everything spilling out. So that's the uncensored version, but it's my favorite Friday the 13th movie, and I'm a big fan of the human Jason. So the zombie Jason I like pure out of just, you know, it's entertainment reasons, but that one just walked and he got to you even if you walk miles away. But this Jason, he really, especially in the fourth one, every movie further in line, he becomes angrier and angrier because he gets fucked over, and now he's done. Ted White did a great job as Jason. He's fast, he runs, he avoids like a knife thrown at him, he avoids it, he throws it back immediately, he goes out. He's fast, flexible, a real killer. And him, and of course Friday 13 Part 3's Jason. I cannot, I know his name, but he died sadly. So rest in peace. He, him and Ted White are my favorite Jasons. Not Kane, Hodder, and no. Um, then number four will be 1974's Black Christmas with Olivia Hussey uh, Psycho 4 and from the It movies, the It miniseries with Tim Curry. It's Tim Curry's It. She's also in there. She's actually in a fan movie apparently. It's Me, Tommy. It's called It's Me, Tommy. You have part one, but you have a part two, and she apparently did a small cameo in there, but she died recently. So again, rest in peace, Mrs. Hussey. But Black Christmas is just one of the creep. The guy made the biggest family Christmas movie ever, and then he decided, let's make the darkest. Let's make Christmas so dark, creepy, atmospheric, and eerie. Everything you Christmas doesn't stand for, and kill a bunch of people, and then let the killer be in the house. Let the kill. Let him call weird sexual. I mean, like, hey, I want to eat your pussy. Your, take my juicy cock in your mouth, and then he goes into this almost split personality, but it's almost like multiple people you hear, not only one person. Like Agnes, we have to keep this a secret. No, Billy, Billy. So we presume the killer's name is Billy, but it's just great. It's just great. And then John Saxon. I like John Saxon, Tom Atkins, and from women, Jamie Lee Curtis and Adrienne Barbeau. These are my four favorite actors in horror movies back in the 80s, really. Um, but Black Christmas is just creepy. You might have that kill from the big mouth girl, one of the more famous actresses of the movie, and I can't remember it. I saw it 100 times. um, in any case, she gets killed by this unicorn, you know, crystal statue with a big spike on it. And while she's getting killed, so nobody hears this, you have these carolers, yes, these children singing music, Christmas music, but and meantime he's just stabbing the shit out of her, and it's like that song was made so creepy, so creepy. Those children, oh no, silent night. And meantime, he's just going, you know, it's a creepy, creepy ass movie and a very tension filled movie. And it has its flaws, but I just can't get enough of it. Number three is gonna be 1981's My Bloody Valentine. I told it a lot of times. The uncensored cut. One of the, I don't know who did the practical effects, but he did a great job. The acting is good. You feel the bonding. But Valentine's Bluff itself is a creepy and eerie town, and the mine. It's a mining town. It's a blue collar town, but the miner himself. I've got to say, you've got Jason, you've got Michael Myers, and then you've got the miner. In my opinion, the miner is in the top three. He looks impressive. He looks creepy. He uses the pickaxe or other weapon that miners use, like knives and shit. He's really creepy, and when they're in the mines and the killer's there, the tension and creepiness begins, and a lot of gore, and a lot of good gory kills. Yeah, if you watch the uncensored cut, because the uncensored cut, the just censored cut, was released, and it took 20 years or longer before we got the uncut only the deleted scenes, and then they said, okay, we will put in uh, the uncut version. It's like 10 minutes longer, all 10 minutes of carnage. So you have to imagine how much they took out of there. Then 1981's at number two, 1981's Halloween 2. It's my favorite killer. Um, Franchise is a different thing. I probably like Friday the 13th, the franchise, more because every movie, even the zombie Jason movie, even the fifth one with the copycat killer, they're all entertaining. They're all entertaining. And the first one to the fourth one, they're actually creepy and good, but all the rest is entertaining. Halloween, sadly enough, in my opinion, has two good ones and two okay ones, and that's part four and H2O. And H2O only Jamie Lee Curtis, her performance, and the last part of the movie when she faces Michael. Uh, so this one, because, and of course you're gonna guess who's my favorite is 1978's Halloween, and I saw the edit, the compiled edit. The only thing is they only take one cut. Halloween 2 had two cuts, Carpenter's cut and Rosenthal's cut. Now Rick Rosenthal, there were two cooks in the kitchen, and you can see that it's obviously made by Carpenter, because Rick Rosenthal did only TV series after this, and the only movie he made in his career is Halloween Resurrection, one of the most abominations of the Halloween franchise. Um, it's Carpenter's movie, but I think he wants creative control. I think John Carpenter, uh, I, it's my favorite director. I bought online a very expensive signed picture of him, authentic picture, authentic signed picture, but I'm gonna say I think he has his weird quirks. I think he thinks a lot about money, and he doesn't want to be hassled by producers or, studios, and he wants to do things on his own, what he wants to do. But he made a good sequel that intertwines, and if you see the complete cut of Halloween 2, a fan edit, it and it there's a fan edit called the Final Cut, which is you can find it on Reddit. It's it it, it puts all those extra scenes nicely with John Carpenter's. John Carpenter's cut was gorier, like the kid with the razor blade in his mouth. You don't see that in the Rosenthal's cut. In the Rosenthal's cut, they flesh out the hospital personnel more, but this is nicely edited in one big package. You even have a scene that's never before seen, VHS quality, and you have a alternate kill scene of the marshal at the end. Instead of cutting his throat, Michael uses him as a shield to take a bullet. So a lot of good stuff. And Halloween, the only nitpick I have is that they never mention the fucking the mechanic where they got the overalls from, and that's the only bloody scene you see, because you see blood out of his mouth and on his chest, naked, sitting in. Nobody reported that guy missing. He works for somebody, and even in the stupid 2018 version that's basically a sequel to the 1978 version. They all they always say he killed 3 people, 4 with his sister. No, he killed 5 people in total. The mechanic was his first kill after his escape, and also a little bit of but let's say if Bob was hanging there, 3 drops of blood, but that does the movie is so good that it doesn't need that. But that they don't mention that kill, it's weird. And also, um, again with the blood, I know I'm not there for gore, but it's realistic. He has a hard time killing Annie. He wants to choke her, but then he takes a knife and then she does like this. But you don't see any blood. But you do see in Halloween 2, she's back as a corpse, and you see the cut. I can believe you can see the cut in the original theatrical version of the first Halloween 2, not the TV cut. You can't see that. TV cut is better because it has 15 minutes of extra footage. So, gimme, gimme, gimme. Now, was there something else from Halloween? There's this rumor going around that Michael Myers' target was Annie and not Laurie. This is bullshit. Bullshit. I mean, Myers constantly was looking at Laurie. He was looking at Laurie in her garden, through the sheets, through the laundry, and there's this the TV cutscene has this extra scene where PJ Souls, Linda, comes in the house and she says she's being followed by that same station wagon. So he's close to Laurie. He's following Laurie, but he kills Annie first because I believe he saw the biggest threat in Annie because she had the biggest mouth. She looks that she was the bravest one because she goes to the brushes to see where he is. He yells speed kills jerk and all that thing, and you can see that she's kind of the you know the big boss, but Halloween is just good. The music, the tension, the atmosphere, the acting, the best, one of the best low budget slashers, if not the best. So, my second favorite horror movie is The Thing, from Carpenter. Now they're both 10 out of 10, and it's hard to put which one is better. Sometimes The Thing maybe it has a little bit more meat to the bone with the paranoia, but then the tension building and the creepy music and Haddonfield being such a creepy town where you see nobody walking or a car, there no cars there. It's like a ghost town. It's like it's him and those 3 girls. That's it, and the boyfriend Bob. It's just creepy. It's just creepy, and the nice intertwining with the second movie that's 4 years later. It's great. It has its flaws, but it's great. It's great. So that's my top 10. I hope you enjoyed. I'll put them in the description. If I can, I put a link of the movie underneath the title so you can find it and not have to look for it yourself. So thank you. Subscribe. It's free. See you next time. Bye bye.